Hello, welcome back to Mr. Lamb Science Corner. What I have for you today is not so much a demonstration as it is a fun activity that you can sell to your principal if you need to, as a language arts thing as well as a science thing. Again, there have been principals known to say, and this is a quote from one of the teachers here locally, don't let me catch you doing science. You can tell probably what I think about that. So I don't mind helping you work around that. So this is a language arts thing. First of all, what you need is you need a periodic table for every kid or every group of kids or however you want to do it. You need a periodic table. And what you're going to do is you're going to have them write down words that are written from the symbols that we have in the periodic table. Now, some elements, like hydrogen, is just plain H. Some elements, like beryllium, are two letters, Be. And if you notice in a two-letter thing, that first of all, one letter is always capitalized. Always. Two letters, the first one is capitalized, the second one is always not capitalized. And if you have three, which we're kind of getting away from that, but depends upon how old a periodic table you have, you may find that three letters, the first is capitalized, the next two are not, but UUS probably isn't going to help you a whole lot in writing down words. What you're going to do is you're going to spell different words with the element symbols. And so, for example, I have here heat, and it's helium, He, capital, small letter, and then capital A, small t, for astatine, helium and astatine, HEAT. And even though you're not supposed to capitalize inside the middle of a word, we do here because we want to see that we have two different elements. And so we have heat. Well, to go along with that, what do you do with heat? Well, sometimes you cook with it. Capital C, small o is cobalt. O, as we mostly know, is oxygen. And K is potassium. And you may say, wait a minute, we got cobalt. I can see how cobalt would be CO. And oxygen would be letter O, but how on earth do you get K for potassium? And the answer to that is that when these were first put down as symbols, because they used to draw circles and put dots and half fill and quarter fill and put things on it and all like this, when they were first made, put together and put symbols, Latin was the preferred language. And so the word for potassium in Latin is kalium. And oxygen is, I believe, from a Greek word meaning bringer of life or something like that. And so they kind of went with that. If you ever get a chance to look at a periodic table from a different country, oxygen in German, for example, is not oxygen, it's Sauerstoff. And so they would be asking themselves, how on earth do you get O from Sauerstoff? Well, it means the same thing, that oxygen, was actually from acid bearing, and acids taste sour. Have you ever nibbled on an aspirin or something like that? You know that it's very sour. If you ever eat atomic sour balls or something like this, they have a coating of citric acid, and it's very, very sour. So in Japan, they have Japanese symbols for the words in the periodic table. So if there's any words up here, they'd be written in Japanese, but the symbols are the exact same thing. The periodic table in Japan or anywhere else in the world is going to look just like this. Okay? So if you have heat and you use it to cook, well, Of course, you're going to come up with bacon. So, Ba, barium, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen. And notice that these three are capitalized, whereas this is not, because this is a 2-letter symbol, whereas these are single-letter symbols. Now, when you do this, it's a very fun thing, and the kids can go nuts working in small groups and things like this, but please, 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 don't let them take it home. Because somebody is going to be smart. I did this. I gave it as an extra credit assignment, which I do every great once in a while for my chemistry students, and they came back with some amazing words. I think one of them was like a 15-letter word. And I thought, wow, man, these guys had to have studied forever. And then I thought, no, I wonder if they went on the web. And so I looked on the website, or looked at the internet, and sure enough, I found several websites where they gave you words and showed, and did just as I did here, where they used capital letters and small letters and capitals and like this. So they wrote out, and so all they had to do was just copy it down. So especially if you're going to give extra credit or something, use it as an in-class assignment, because somebody's going to be smart enough to go on the web and say, oh man, I can really impress my teacher by doing these magnificent words, and it won't cost me any effort whatsoever. So in-class assignment where they have to work at it, don't let them use their computers or anything like that. It can be a lot of fun. I'm not really sure that it's a lot of fun if you just copy down stuff that's on the web. So make them put a little effort into it. And who knows what's going to happen. Maybe they'll come up with a 15-letter word all on their own without any help. Okay? Thank you and goodbye.